My fiance's daughter accused me of marrying for financial motives. Now I don't care if she skips our wedding.
All the money is gone.
Yeah, first time poster, but I want to know if I'm the a-hole. This might be long. I apologize. I, 35 female, and my 47 male fiance have been together for going on 5 years. He proposed a little over a year ago, and we've been planning ever since. By the way, this comes from user Construction South 669, and you can submit your story to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. A little background: I have 2 children, 13 male and 10 female, from a previous relationship. My fiance has 2 children as well, P, 25 female, and A, 28 female. We're going to make that Priscilla and Aubrey, which I was incredibly close with both. My fiance has stepped up to help me raise my children in the best way possible. Their dad is active in their lives, and I pay their way for everything in our house. My fiance makes double what I do, so we worked out a system in the house with bills and such. I've never asked him to pay for anything for my children or myself, and have always been self-sufficient. My fiance is a wonderful man. We don't fight or argue and have an amazing relationship. We laugh, enjoy each other, and are genuinely happy. His daughters were very active with helping me plan the wedding. They were both supposed to be bridesmaids. I bought them each little gifts to ask them, and the gifts mirrored their interests. Daughter Aubrey has 4 children to 3 different men, with 1 on the way. We're all very active in the children's lives, and I love them as my own. Her and I were the closest out of the 2, and now I'm seeing that she was just using me to take her demon seeds off her hands, and used my love for them to use me. My bridal shower was 3 weeks ago. His daughters were supposed to come, and only Priscilla showed up. I figured Aubrey wasn't feeling good with the pregnancy and couldn't make it. I asked Priscilla where Aubrey was, and she got quiet. Priscilla proceeded to tell me that Aubrey doesn't believe her father is happy and wants me to get a prenup. I was shocked. Her father has a good job, but doesn't make enough to warrant a prenup. But if my fiance would ask, I would gladly sign it, since I've never relied on anyone for anything. I laughed it off, and Priscilla apologized and told me she knows her dad is happy, and everyone in their family likes me because they've never seen him this happy. I told her I loved her and I appreciated her coming, and figured I would deal with it later. We all had a great time and just enjoyed the day. I completely popped the prenup thought out of my mind and focused on planning the wedding, my full-time job, my children, daughter Priscilla, and my fiancé. Fast forward to this week. I have reached out to Aubrey numerous times with no response, same as her father. I'm not someone who lets people walk all over me, and I'm a lot worse when someone tries to walk all over my sweeter than sweet fiance. So I decided to drop by her apartment to have a conversation with her after work one day. She doesn't work, so I knew she would be home. I knocked, and she came to the door and asked what I wanted. I asked her if we could have a conversation, and she locked the screen door to protect herself. I would never harm my fiance's daughters, his grandchildren, or anyone else for that matter, so I was kind of blown away. I asked her what I could do to fix our relationship and what I did wrong. I kept getting different answers, and none of them sounded like an issue to me, but they might have been to her, so I just listened. She told me she thinks her dad's laugh is fake with me, and he's pretending he's happy, among other things. Then finally, a little truth came out after the back and forth. She told me that she didn't want me to live in the house her dad owns if something happens to him, and it should go to her. Then she decided to tell me the only reason she talked to me was because I would watch her demon seeds at the drop of a dime when she didn't feel like dealing with them. I told her I could give a crap about the house, and I wasn't with her father for his house. She told me that she didn't want me on his life insurance policy either. Here's the kicker with this. My fiance has a good job, but I work for the office of our state officials. I have a life insurance policy worth $250K, which $175 goes to my children. He has one for $50K, which goes to his kids. I don't care about anything he has. We've worked out the details of our finances and our living wills when we got engaged. His house is paid off. Our vehicles are paid off. I bought and paid for my car myself, so we have no debt. I sold my house that I bought and paid for and moved in with him, which we are planning on investing that into property. She knows none of this because it's none of her business. But the fact is, neither of us are stupid with our money or finances, so I don't need his finances to survive. I told her I was a single mom for 6 years and had everything I did from working 2 jobs, and I'm not with him for any financial gain whatsoever. She told me she would not be attending our wedding. She didn't want anything to do with me. I came home and told my fiancé, and he seems upset but not surprised. We're a month and a half away from the wedding, and I'm not worrying about her not coming or fixing whatever issue she has with me. Am I the a-hole? Clarification. Just want to clarify a few things quickly. My fiancé and Aubrey had a strained relationship before I came along. She had stolen $1,500 from him and also opened an electric bill in his name and ran it up to $3,000. He noticed it on his credit report when he bought a new motorcycle, again, way before me. I was financially helping her with the kids, as she is now a single mom again, along with her maternal grandmother and her own mother as well. Priscilla has been paying her car payment for her recently. Aubrey lives in low-income housing, so she has no rent, and I also live in a state that they pay you to live there. I helped them mend their relationship, which was a task because I invited her to holidays and special occasions, which she refused to come to for the first year her dad and I were together. Her dad finally started reaching out to her, and she decided to come around. I have rental properties, as does he. They are separately owned. He has 6 and I have 2. The new properties we're investing in will be in both of our names, which the girls are set to inherit the 6 he has, and my children are set to inherit the 2 I have. The ones we own together will be split between all 4 kids when I pass. The girls are aware of this. They are also aware that when something happens to their father, we have an agreement that I stay here if I choose to. I don't even know if I will want to live here without him. I can't sell it, and it will be left to Priscilla. Thanks everyone for the kind words. My fiancé is going to talk with her tomorrow while I'm out of town on a girls' trip. I will update everyone Sunday when I'm home. And we have the update right now.
Let's get into it.
Let's dive in. I don't know if I'm doing this correctly. You are. I read that this is how you do it. You did. So if I'm doing it incorrectly, you're not. I'm sorry. It's okay. I'm sorry I told everyone I would update them on Sunday, but after my girls' trip, I was feeling pretty tough. My fiance was going to speak to Aubrey on Saturday while I was gone. We spoke about the boundaries I have set in place, which he supports. I told him that I know him and Aubrey have been in no contact before because of the money that she stole, but I never wanted to be the reason they are no contact, and he agreed. Now, before I tell you about the conversation, I have to give you some context. M was in a very toxic relationship for 10 years, and they split a little over 2 years before he met me. The ex tried to contact him for 2 years into our relationship, with my fiance changing his number, putting up cameras around our house, and the last straw was getting a restraining order. Somehow the ex would get his new number and contact him prior to him getting a PFA, and we could never figure out how. She hasn't contacted him since the PFA, and it has been quiet. Another thing to note is that my fiance is 6'5" and weighs 240 pounds. He's fit and takes really good care of himself. I'm 5'9" and weigh 200 pounds and am chubby. This has never come up in our relationship, and my fiance has made sure that I know he loves every part of me. He always has dated short, skinny blondes. I'm sure it came as a shock when he got with a chubby, tall redhead, but the way he loves me is never in question. Now, the conversation. Aubrey told my fiance that she believes I have put a spell on him because he's never dated someone so huge before. Oh, so she's fat phobic. Dang, she sucks.
She's body shaming.
Yes.
And that's not good.
So this was her reasoning for mentioning she wants me to get a prenup. She then told him that she has been in contact with his ex throughout our entire relationship and has been trying to get him and his ex back together because she fits his body type?
Yo, you're out of here.
Why do you care so much who your dad's dating? Priscilla has told me how awful her dad's last relationship was and how her and him decided to go to therapy together once it was over, which my fiance had already told me about the relationship and the therapy. But I always let Priscilla vent to me about whatever she needed to, and most days it was about the ex and how bad and Aubrey hated her. Priscilla was so upset to find out that Aubrey had been in contact with the ex and that she gave the ex all of the new numbers. Priscilla and my fiance tried to reason with Aubrey and explained how shallow she sounds with Aubrey kicking them both out of her apartment. My fiance was devastated that anyone would look at my weight and consider me huge and not look at how wonderful of a person I am. Those are his words, not mine. Priscilla and fiance both decided to cut Aubrey off. Priscilla is no longer making payments on her vehicle, and my soon-to-be mother-in-law has cut ties with her as well. The days I didn't have the kids, my fiance's mother did. Priscilla called me about 40 minutes ago to tell me that CPS is at Aubrey's because the neighbor called them on her. The neighbor called Priscilla to tell her that she was worried for the kids' safety and felt obligated to call. My fiance has contacted the fathers and told them they have our support with whatever they decide to do. I also talked to fiance about maybe taking the kids if the fathers decide they don't want them, and he agreed. And by the way, I agree that you can listen to full episodes with stories like this.
I agree too.
All you have to do is go to Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts from and search OK Storytime. Really quick before we finish this, I think we're all in consensus here on who the a-hole is.
Oh, 100%.
It's crazy though that Aubrey was being this so nasty, and people are helping her pay her rent. People are helping her pay her car bills. People are helping her take care of her kids.
Still being nasty.
And she's just an entitled piece of crap person. The fathers of the children are all very good men with good jobs to be able to support the kids. My fiance has maintained a good relationship with the fathers over the years for the kids. The fathers all have 50-50 custody, so birthday parties and things were usually combined. I'll update again if anything else happens. At this point, I'm just hoping Aubrey gets some much needed therapy and the help that she needs. Thank you all for the support. Also for the well wishes. I appreciate you all so much. And that is the end of that story.
Wow.
Yeah, I hope everybody gets the help they need. Aubrey clearly needs help. The kids need help.
Good on OP to be with everything that went through, she's still Aubrey needs help.
Yeah, that is the end of that story.